Wow.
Oh, 1 minute. Oh, we're good. Welcome to the interview area for the 125th U.S. Open Championship. I'm joined by Matt Vogt. Matt, just talk us through the last, week of your life.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been crazy. That's the kind of the crazy part about qualifying is you qualify and then you got to get going. The U.S. Open's the next week, so um, we flew out to Walla Walla, Washington for the qualifier. Kind of took a flyer on that being a great course fit for my game. It paid off. Got about 2 hours of sleep on Monday night, just adrenaline and phone blowing up and just soaking it all in. And then traveled home Tuesday. Wednesday, still had stuff to take care of at home, personal and professional stuff. So took care of that, as much of that on Wednesday as we could. Tried to hit a few golf balls. Pack Thursday, play a little bit. Same thing Friday, and got in here on Saturday. So it feels like it's been about 3 years in about 6 days, but it's been incredible.
We have a few local media in the audience. You are from right around here. What does it mean to qualify for this one that is so close to your hometown?
It means so much. I honestly, with the restoration work here at Oakmont, and just everything going on with the Open, I try to not even really pay attention to it because I just feel like I knew that it was an absolute pipe dream to get here. I mean, it is for the best pros in the world, let alone, amateurs. So I almost didn't want to think about it too much. I'm still trying to soak it all in, but also not get too sentimental about it because it's incredible. I mean, where we're sitting right now is not far from where I just sat in the caddy yard waiting for people on the range. Or we walked right up this path to the caddy shack, the porch right outside the clubhouse or outside the pro shop. So even as I just talk about it now, I get sentimental on it. This place means so much to me. The members are incredible. Stanley Druckenmiller, a prominent member here, provided me and a lot of caddies with a scholarship to go to help with college. So I'm just indebted to this place, and I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful, honestly.
We are going to open it up to questions. Just raise your hand. We have 2 mic runners in the room. We're going to start here. Keith on the left.
Matt, how you doing?
Doing great, man.
How's the course playing differently from when you were a caddy here?
Well, the rough is about 4 inches higher, 5 inches higher. And the rough's the biggest part. This course is so good all year long, and the rough is the biggest change, or the biggest thing I've noticed. When you caddy here too, you're not really viewing the golf course in the lens of tour level golf. So that's been interesting too. I'm going around and thinking how I would play the golf course now at this point in my life. So that's been a bit of a change. I know everything that's going on, but not to maybe the level of detail that you need to play in the U.S. Open. So it's been a mentally exhausting few days just starting to get to learn the golf course a little bit.
Front here, Jeff.
Matt, what's it like to sign autographs?
It's, I have a 15-month-old daughter now, so, and everyone knows about my dad's recent passing. So even the last few months, I feel like I've gone from in a way, from a boy to a man, and matured as a person and as a dad, and so the coolest part is seeing kids out there. They might know who I am, they might not. They just know I'm playing golf inside the ropes, and maybe they're thinking about doing it themselves someday, or just chasing their dreams. They're probably out here with their parents and making memories and having experiences. So it's it's a true honor to be a part of that. To just see kids like that, and I guess make a good impression on them here on the golf course. But yeah, I signed my first autograph this morning, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to do this today. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
On the left here, Jeff.
Matt, how much when you caddied here did you get to actually play the course, and what's it like reading the greens for yourself versus for somebody you're caddying for who's like a 10 handicap?
Yeah, so we got to play Monday nights, and honestly, we did not appreciate that as much as we should have. I mean, thinking about it now, we should have been here every single Monday, but I'd be lying if I said we were. But we try to get out here most Monday nights and play till dark. And reading the greens now, just like being a different person, player, golfer, I feel like, again, it's hard. Like sometimes using your eyes out here doesn't work. So trying to use your feet, trying to look from the sides, really as you're walking up and around the greens, it's different than just maybe telling someone, a 10 handicapper, hey, kind of hit it up in here and have fun. So, the restoration work, all these little fingers and little additions to the sides of the greens, those have kind of changed the visuals around some of the edges of the greens too. So they get kind of tricky. Like some of them actually run a little bit away. It might look like a bowl. Some of them actually start to curve away. So those fingers have changed, and little restorations around the edges of the greens have kind of changed the visuals. So it's just kind of trying to soak everything in as you walk up to the greens.
On the right, Zach.
Matt, for you going back to Walla Walla, feels like 3 years ago probably, but it was
Yeah.
a week ago. Just having that trust that this course fits you based on the advice you got, just how important was that trust and how did that maybe give you the confidence to finish through?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if you can find any little edge in one-day qualifiers, not just U.S. Open qualifying, but like USAM, US Mid-Am, anything, if you find any little edge, I think you should take it. Because one-day qualifiers are really, really hard. It's just one day. So it did give some confidence. I got to shout out Wine Valley. Like that place is awesome. And I talked to the guys in the shop when I went there, and I said, how did you guys get this, and how are you? They said that we just wanted to do it, and we want the publicity. We want people to know who we are, and if people should take a trip to Walla Walla, drink a bunch of good wine, and play Wine Valley. Like it's awesome. But it was firm, fast, long, and so I knew that under those conditions I could hopefully drive it really long and straight, hit really high long irons into those greens, and it paid off. So, knowing that like in Ohio, Columbus, Canada, like that's a murderer's row of tour pros, and I have confidence in myself, but you try to get away from those guys as much as you can. So again, it's just I'm fortunate it paid off.
Back left, Mark.
Matt, for those of us that don't know kind of the bones of your background and story, what kind of aspirations did you have to make this a living, and what pushed you to the real day job, if you will?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really never had any aspirations of playing professional golf. I feel like just even in junior golf, like I was a pretty good junior. I went to Butler University and played very briefly on the golf team, and then decided to focus on school. I just honestly, maybe I didn't dream big enough, or maybe I don't know. I just never quite had it. Played around a lot of guys who you could tell had it and had a chance to make a shot at professional golf, and it never really crossed my mind. And now I've said this a few times in some interviews, but like trying to pursue amateur golf, trying to compete at whatever level that is and get to whatever level I can get to is just, it's almost like a challenge to myself. Like, what can we do? I don't know what that is, and I don't know what my goal. I don't have a specific goal this week. I don't have expectations, and I don't have the same going forward. It's just what's possible, and it's all because I just love I love golf so much. I love the people that you come in contact with. I love the places that you end up, and that's honestly what it's all about for me at this point.
If I could just ask a follow just on the dentistry, like what level, where are you at right now? You have your own office, your own practice, are you part of a practice? What's the
Yeah, that's a
stage?
good question. I started my own practice in 2018, and that was an insane amount of work. Obviously, just starting any business, and I love my patients. I'd like to think they love me as much as they can love a dentist. But I've been very fortunate over the past 7 years or so. Our practice has grown. I work with another great dentist and an incredibly talented team, and that's afforded me, quite honestly, some opportunity to have some flexibility in my schedule to treat patients when I'm there. If we divide the week between us two dentists, like to treat patients while I'm there and treat them very well and work very, very hard, and then have some flexibility in how I administer the practice and just kind of make sure everybody's taken care of as far as all the stuff behind the scenes, and still get out and try to pursue golf. I also help, I help other dentists through basically a consulting to help them learn how to start and grow their own practices. So we don't learn that in school. We learn how to be great dentists, and it's hard. And I hope to help people learn from my mistakes. So yeah, that all kind of blends in together to form my life, I guess. Yeah.
Second row on the right.
Matt, you mentioned your dad. Obviously, Father's Day weekend this weekend. Just is that going to be on your mind at all, or how difficult is that going to be for you out there?
Yeah, it's definitely on my mind. I mean, even walking up 9 Fairway today after signing some autographs for some little kids, like I just kind of looked up and I thought about it, and you have anybody who's lost a parent, you feel these kind of brief spurts of emotion, I think, from time to time. He had colon cancer. I wear the blue ribbon for that, and I say a prayer every night for people who have been affected by cancer. It's a horrible, horrible thing. But he got that diagnosis last year, and it wasn't good. And over the past few months before his passing, you could see it was starting to take a toll. So it's emotional, but honestly, I know he's in a better place. He's beginning to suffer, and that's something no one ever wants to see. So, although I wish he was still here with us, and yes, I'm sure this weekend will be emotional. There's a sense of peace among our family, and I hope he's at peace as well, because it was hard, you know. And I think it's a unique time in my life where, yes, my father passed and I miss him dearly, but I have this beautiful 15-month-old daughter. Oh my gosh. And a wife who supports me in pursuing this and doing these kinds of things. And I thank God every day for them. I really do. I thank God for everything in my life. And I think this weekend's going to be full of gratitude, and hopefully some good golf too.
Back left.
Matt, do you embrace those emotions when they come up throughout this week or throughout the last week?
I try. I don't know how to deal with all this, you know. It's been a learning process, a lot of talking with, you know, my friends and coaches and the people who have helped me, not just in golf but in life, on how to process things like that. I think there has to be some embracing of that. I work with Josh Nichols is my mental coach. I mean, I see him more as a friend than anything, but we talked on the way here in the car over the phone, and I think if you try to hide from what's going on, like in my case, I've never played in front of more of 100 people, let alone 10,000. You know, I think if you try to ignore what's going on, it's like you're trying to fool yourself, you know, trying to hide and ignore emotions about what's going on out here, and I think would be maybe counterproductive. So I think the theme of the week for me is to just be present and let those come as they may. But then, obviously, once you get closer to hitting a golf shot, you got to snap back into focus, and that's how I'm trying to handle it. So.
And then just one quick follow-up. Have you gotten any increased interest in the dental practice in the last week? Any fun calls?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I can say this because Nick, one of the producers on Pat McAfee's show, he's a patient, but he told the world, so he waived his HIPAA rights in that way. So, but he gave me a call the next day and wanted to get me on Pat's show, which is a blast. So, I think they've gotten a ton of inquiries. Again, I have such a great team that I've got some friends helping me out with all those messages and inquiries, and said, hey guys, like, you know, forward those to Chris, my buddy, and make sure you stay focused on patients, you know, because that's what we're there to do in McCordsville, Indiana. So it's been a lot of fun. Some patients reaching out, other fellow dentists. Just, I feel like there's so many people you know, behind me this week. Oakmont, Pittsburgh, dentistry, you know, it's been fun. So honestly, from a business perspective, like, that's not what it's about. Like, we try to take good care of people, and if it brings us more great patients that we can help, awesome. It'll give us something to talk about maybe around the office. So.
Just a few more on the right, Brentley. Oh, sorry, Nick.
Just kind of a follow-up to the attention you're getting this week. Why do you think your story resonates with people?
It's a good question. I've said a number of times. I've said a number of times this week that I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure why I'm talking to people. I'm not sure why there's so much interest and why it resonates. But I suppose maybe it's because people are inspired. And I guess that's one of my goals in doing all this week. Besides, obviously, doing the best I can in the golf tournament, is just to inspire some people. To let them know that it's never too late to try to pursue something in your life that you think is really cool and it's something you want to do that other people think might be foolish or might be a waste of your time, or maybe they don't believe in you. So I hope maybe that's why.
Two more now, Brentley, then Paul.
Yeah, I'm curious, as a former caddy and also playing here in 21, have you ever gone into adjacent fairways off the tee, and being out there now for a couple of days, do you see any opportunity post what Gil did?
Great question. There's not a whole lot of that this week, I don't think. With the work that's been done, some of the restoration work, it just kind of makes that a little less attractive going to the other fairways. When I played in the 2021 USAM, I did not play well, but I played the golf course before a bunch of rain hit. So when it's firm, those choices, I think, kind of go out the window. And I'm sure the golf course will, over the next few days, if the weather cooperates, will obviously be tuned up to the max. So we've looked at it in a few spots, but I think we're just going to stick to what the golf course tells you to do. And that's what's cool about Oaklawn, is like, it's so well designed in spots. It just says, hey, do this. And sometimes it means hitting it dead straight in between a lot of junk. And it's almost simple in a way. It's like, you got to do this or consequences. So.
Last one here on the left.
Well, did you stop at the Caddy Shack and meet up with some of your buddies over the weekend?
The old Caddy Shack used to be like right behind the range where the new range is here. So I don't think it's there anymore. I was asking, but I did. We did go with a friend of mine who still is a caddy here yesterday to start to get some of the lay of the land of the restoration work that's been done. And I got a lot of cool messages on like Instagram from some caddies and members I've stayed in touch with. So yeah, I'm proud to be representing the caddy yard this week for sure, no matter how things go.
Well, Matt, we really appreciate the time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you so much, everybody. It means a lot. Thank you.